Did you know that a habit can be your best slave or your worst master? Depending on what habits you have, and as I say in other videos, you are the sum of the habits that you practice daily. Those habits can be your best slave or your worst master. In other words, if a habit is your best slave, the habit is working for you, it's adding to your life, it's adding to your well-being, it's working for you. That might be you've got a habit of investing, and those investments are paying off. They're giving you what you need. It might be a habit that, say, you're eating very well, your diet is on point, and it's paying off because you're not overweight and you've got a reasonable body composition, and you feel great. You've not got brain fog, you've got a sharp mind because you're eating well and you feel healthy and you don't get ill. It may be that you've got a habit of getting up in the morning very early and allowing you then to get more done in the day. You're more productive, you're better at work, it's paying off. But if a habit is your worst master, this is like, for example, an addiction. If you drink too much, you're addicted. Well, that habit's going to be the master over you because it's an addiction and it wrecks your day. You may have a habit of gambling. That can become a master. I know people that have suffered with that. It's almost like, why would you want another master, a bad master, or even like a bad boss? Something that's controlling you, something that's controlling your life. A bad habit like that. And I know we get addicted to things and it's difficult because changing habits is hard. People don't like change and it takes time. In order to make change, that generally means you have to do something uncomfortable because you're not used to it. And uncomfort is painful, which is why it's hard to change a habit. But if you wanted to change your life, you've got to push through that discomfort for the better. And if we take the example, I always use like a fitness example because I think it's like the catalyst of all improvement really. It's one of them things that you can't go wrong with. But it's also a good example because it's very, very painful at first. So if you're not healthy and maybe you're overweight, it's extremely difficult. It's pain. I'll not lie to you. It's not comfortable. But making that change, although it might be difficult, if you push through, it starts getting easier. Once you're 6 months in, it gets very easier. It gets easier. And it gets to the point where you even enjoy it. So if I think about it now, like if I go too long without a workout, I feel terrible. If I eat, say, processed foods, like really bad processed carbohydrates, that makes me feel horrible. I don't feel great. I actually feel what was once hard and difficult, eating a real controlled diet, whole foods, all that kind of thing, really cutting back on those cravings of sugar, bad carbs, and the things that we all like, because, we're addicted to those things. What used to be painful is now the thing that I enjoy. I enjoy it. I like the taste of it. When you first try it, you might think it's bland, but, I've kind of trained myself to like that habit. And in liking it, so I've gone from the pain, push through, forming the habit, to now liking that habit, where it's easier to reinforce. So we always talk about like reinforcing a habit. You want to reinforce good habits. If you keep reinforcing bad habits, so back to the diet and fitness example, if you're eating processed rubbish all the time, like processed carbohydrates, yeah, you might be addicted to it. You might have all of those spikes, you crave sugar, you crave them bad carbs. It might feel satisfying, but you're making yourself feel terrible long term. And once you train yourself to get off that, once you reinforce the habit, push through that initial discomfort, you will actually feel much better. And then it's easy. So I have zero cravings for that type of food now, zero. I don't even want it when I see it. If I might have an ice cream once every blue moon, maybe twice a year, but I don't crave it. I can, hot day, walk past anything like that. I don't need pizza, I don't need ice cream, I don't need any of that stuff. And it's so easy now to reinforce that habit. It's like a lifelong change. And that habit now is my best slave because my brain's sharper, It allows me to be more productive at work. I never get tired. I can move better, feel better, be better for everyone else. So there's an example of a habit that is your best slave. The opposite example of a habit that would be your worst master would be, as I say, if you're just constantly eating pizza and takeaways and junk food, you're going to feel terrible. And because it's addictive, you can't get out of it, and you continually to reinforce that bad habit. Another example is just drinking too much, where you can't think, you can't even function at work. That is a bad habit that is your worst master. You don't want that as your master. Another example would be you keep being late for work because you can't get up in the morning because you're staying up late playing on computer games or messing around looking at the internet or whatever you're doing. That's a bad master because it's affecting your life. So you have to make some changes. I talk about this a lot in my videos about how to reinforce a good habit, and why the habits that you practice daily, you are the sum of those habits. That is your identity. So you've got an identity at the top. So if you're overweight, that's you, that's your identity. And the habits correspond with it. You eat rubbish, you continue to reinforce that bad habit, probably don't get any exercise, I don't know. And you have to change both of them. You have to change the habits that you practice daily, and you have to change the identity. And one of the ways that you can do that, because I do this, you can feed in a new identity at the top. I no longer eat junk food, and then start practicing that habit daily. Sometimes you have to create some goals and a plan to achieve what you need to achieve. You might need a training plan, you might need a diet plan. So what would you do? You create an identity. I'm the person that's from now on is going to improve my health, eat clean, get some exercise. That's your new identity. You create a plan, diet plan, training plan, and then you practice that, live in accordance to that identity in your daily rituals, routines and habits. Push through the discomfort. After a few months, you'll feel fantastic and you'll get your results. And in that example, it does take quite a long time. It's not a 2-week process. It will take time. But it becomes a lifestyle choice, a lifelong habit that becomes easier and easier to reinforce. And it will end up bleeding into all the other areas of your life. Everything will get better as a result. Same with, I believe, reading. All the knowledge is contained in books. That is a habit that you can't go wrong with. Waking up early, there's another one, habit that you can't go wrong with. And also working towards your goals, which I do recommend you do. A little bit each day. I always say do 3 small things a day. 3 small actions towards your goals, consistently applied each day, is how you get anything done. You don't have to work a full day on it, maybe just 20 minutes or an hour each on each one. That's all you need to do. And if you apply that consistently, it's like habits consistently applied build results, and that's how they make you. They make your identity. That's who you are. So why not change it? Create a new habit today. Start reinforcing it. Make that habit your best slave instead of it being your worst master. Hope you like that video. Don't forget to like it, subscribe. See you all next time.